Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and in this video I'm going to look at my favorite year in music. Now this is for a contest for Alex at Beer and Vinyl. I had said that I would enter his contest, and actually tomorrow is the last day, I think. But during the holidays I didn't do anything YouTube-wise, but I'm getting to it now. And I always thought 1968 was my favorite year in music because my favorite album came out in 1968, and those who know me know what that album is. But then I started looking at it. There's so many great albums that came out in 1971 by my favorite artist, and my favorite album by that artist, if I can talk. But so I picked 1971, and I had to leave quite a few albums out as well. But I've got a lot to show, so I'm just going to run through them. And let's talk about my favorite year in music, which I figured is 1971. So how about an album that stayed on the charts longer than almost any album? I think the record has since been broken, but Carole King's Tapestry, you know all the songs. I Feel the Earth Moon, So Far Away, It's Too Late, You've Got a Friend. It's a great album by Carole King. How about Traffic's Low Spark of High Heel Boys with the great title track, and Rock and Roll Stew, fantastic album by Traffic. And nobody was as big in 1971 as a rock and roll singer, maybe the best rock and roll singer ever, and that's Rod Stewart, as he put out the Best Faces album, and not as good as A Wink to a Blind Horse. And that's the one that has Stay With Me on it, just a fantastic song. Also love Ronnie Lane's Debris. It's a really good one too. And then I think he had his best album came out in 1971 as well, and that's Every Picture Tells a Story. Love the title track, Mickey Waller's drumming on that. Of course, you've got Maggie May, Mandolin Wind. Great Motown cover, and I Know I'm Losing You. Yes, I had the Kinks, Muswell Hillbillies, kind of their Americana record. Oh, got the back of it, sorry. There it is. And a underrated Beach Boys album, a later one, and that's Surf's Up. Some just great tunes on there. My favorite Cat Stevens album came out in that year, Teaser and the Firecat, with The Wind, If I Laugh, Morning Has Broken, Moon Shadow, Peace Train. It's a great bunch of songs by Cat Stevens. A fine Mott the Hoople album came out, Wildlife, with Whiskey Women. That's a Ralph's tune, and Ian Hunter had a couple really good ones on here. Original Mixed Up Kid, and Angel of 8th Avenue. How about a fine Fleetwood Mac album from the Bob Welch years, Future Games, which the title track is from Bob Welch. Danny Kerwin has a nice one, Sands of Time, and Christine McVie has Show Me a Smile, which I think is a really good ballad by her. Alice Cooper had two great albums come out that year. This is when they were really the Alice Cooper band. And you got Love It to Death, which had I'm 18, Ballad of Dwight Fry, anything that references Dracula has got to be good. And Is It My Body? And then my favorite album by Alice Cooper came out that year as well, and that's Killer. Of course, Killer had Under My Wheels, Be My Lover, Halo of Flies, and Desperado. That's one great side of music. Killer, 1971. And then the band had Cahoots, not quite as good as their first two albums, but has some great songs on here. Life is a Carnival, When I Paint My Masterpiece, 4% Pantomime, which has Van Morrison adding vocals on that one. Yeah, Cahoots from the band. I just threw this in. Fine soundtrack from 1971, Diamonds Are Forever, where they recruit Shirley Bassey again to sing this title track, who's great. Two of the best live albums ever came out in 1971. That's the Allman Brothers, live at Fillmore East. Fantastic. And B.B. Cook, live at the Cook County Jail. Let's see the track listing on there, but yeah. Two great live albums came out in 1971. My favorite David Bowie album came out in 1971, and that's Hunky Dory with my favorite David Bowie song and Life on Mars. Also got Changes, just a fantastic album. I think I said fantastic a lot, haven't I? How about a pretty good Moody Blues album, Every Good Boy Deserves Favor, with Story in Your Eyes and Nice to Be Here. Probably the most famous songs off this one. My favorite Joni Mitchell album came out in 1971, and that's Blue. It's a fantastic album with Carrie, River, A Case of You. This was actually VCLT from Elliott Cruz, but yeah. Favorite Joni Mitchell album, 1971, Blue. Uriah Heep had a couple really good albums come out in 1971. Salisbury, which I think is Glenn Kellaway's favorite of theirs. But I think they had an even better one came out in 1971, and that's Look at Yourself. July Morning, I think is on this one. Yeah, July Morning, Look at Yourself. The title track's really good as well. But yeah, fantastic. With a little mirror on there. My favorite Led Zeppelin album came out in 1971. That's Untitled, or sometimes known as Led Zeppelin 4. With, what a great side to have. What is it? Black Dog, Rock and Roll, The Battle of Evermore, and Stairway to Heaven on one side. It's like they had a thing going around, best sides in music, and that's got to be one of them. My favorite solo album by a Beatle came out in 1971. Some will pick Plastic Ono Band for John Lennon, but yeah, John Lennon's album Imagine's actually my favorite solo album by a Beatle. Got the title track, Crippled Inside, Jealous Guy, Give Me Some Truth. It's just a fantastic one by him. And then probably my favorite Paul McCartney album came out that year as well, and that's Ram. You know that album. What Rolling Stone picked as the greatest album of all time came out in 1971. That's Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Fantastic title track. He takes on some social issues. Also have Mercy, Mercy, The Ecology, What's Happening, Brother, just Inner City Blues. Just a great album by Marv. And a lot of people's favorite John Prine album. I have another one that I like a little bit more, but his debut came out that year with Illegal Smile, Hello in There, Sam Stone, Donald, Lydia, just packed full of great John Prine tunes. And I couldn't leave out my favorite artists. Van Morrison, Tupelo Honey, came out in 1971 with a great title track and Straight to Your Heart Like a Cannonball. And Moonshine Whiskey. Another fine album by Van the Man. One of the greatest rock albums of all time, and my favorite album of The Who. Who's Next came out in 1971. And it's like a greatest hits album. Every song on here is fantastic. I even love My Wife, the John Entwistle song. I think it's his best song, and it's fantastic too. And one of America's best songwriters also had an album came out in 1971, and that's Townes Van Zandt and Delta Mama Blues with the title track, Tower Song, Nothing. Just great lyricist, Townes Van Zandt. And I might have gotten some flack from Brian at Embryonic Robot if I didn't show that Leonard Cohen had an album come out in 1971. Songs of Love and Hate. This was an RSD release. It's got Avalanche, Famous Blue Raincoat on there. Yeah, fine album by Leonard Cohen. And my favorite Jethro Tull album came out 1971. Aqualung. This is a fantastic album. This is the Steven Wilson remix, which sounds fantastic. Of course, you all know that. The title track, Cross-Eyed Mary, My God, Locomotive Breath. And then I had to show 3 CDs that I had to include them because they're very important. One day I'll probably have them on a on vinyl, but we'll see. And that's The Doors, L.A. Woman. Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers. I can't believe it that I don't have this on vinyl. But anyway, Sticky Fingers, probably my second favorite Stones album. And of course, Janis Joplin, Pearl, that has me and Bobby McGee, just fantastic singing by Janis. And anyway, that's my entry. I hope everyone's doing well. I'll put a link to Alex's channel down below, and everyone have a good New Year.